Well, guys, this is a funny one. Like, a very, very wild drama, to say the least. Two parties I would never expect to fight, much less really interact on such a serious level. I didn't even know they followed each other, but how many of you are familiar with the extremely popular streamer, Asmongold? Those that aren't, let me play a clip for you. This is a clip called The Very Best of Asmongold, like funniest moments. It's a bit of an older video, but it'll show you some of the clips that kind of have gone viral in association with the guy and what he's kind of known for, you know? World of Warcraft music, yay! This is him getting a haircut. A lot of jokes about him being a bald. He's had some unfortunate hair loss.
Okay, boys. You're
He
about
is
to
kind
watch
of a goblin.
a champion at work here.
Now, if you pay real close attention, you'll have gotten a look at his ex-girlfriend there. And if you know anything about Asmongold, yes, that was Asmongold's girlfriend. And this is a man who is famous for using a dead rat as his alarm clock. I mean, I could kind of go through here. He used to do a lot of WoW content. He basically got really big off of WoW. He was the WoW guy. Not that he was necessarily super good at World of Warcraft, to clarify, but he played it a lot. He was very much like a grinder. He knew a lot about the game. He'd played it for a long time. And he was kind of seen as like a cultural, literally the cultural face of World of Warcraft. And he got really big and popular. More recently, he's gotten kind of cringe with his content. Like, for an idea of his more recent videos, a lot of them consist of things like, gosh, my nose, it won't stop itching. Trump just ended the war in Israel. Why Gen Z is so poor. Trump's head of the Pentagon is wild. Pirate software viewers hate me. Marvel Rivals the threat. What the fuck is happening in New York City? It's basically like variety talk about everything from like gaming drama to generally right-leaning politics and YouTuber drama. He is a React Andy, just like completely through and through a React Andy streamer. That's all he does now. There's no more gaming really. And on top of that, his takes have gotten lazier, and the audience he seems to be catering to with his takes has gotten a lot more right-wing and thus generally dumber and less logical. And just kind of erring a little bit on the side of hateful. Now, Asmongold and Elon Musk have been friendly for quite some time, which is why when it came out that Elon Musk is a cheater, yes, a cheater, in a couple of games that Asmongold is quite known for playing as well as World of Warcraft, there was a bit of a weird thing about... It was kind of weird that Asmon wasn't calling it out. Now, what do you mean, or what do I mean when I say that Elon's a cheater? Well, Elon Musk apparently really likes top-down dungeon crawler games. Supposedly. You know, Diablo, Path of Exile, specifically. And he would have the world believe he is literally the world's best player at both. And if you check the leaderboards, that's what they'll tell you. Elon Musk, the world's richest man, is also the world's most skilled dungeon crawler gamer. And his fans brag about this, by the way. They're always like, man, Elon is like a god. He's got god powers. Like, they'll literally talk about him like he must have, like, supernatural abilities to be so good at everything he does, right? It's all part of this sort of brand he holds up. Here's the thing, though. This idea that he is, like, the world's best gamer must have purely been come up with by non-gamers who like Elon Musk and see the perception of Elon Musk as a master gamer on the side as some sort of, like, feather in his hat that they can attribute to him, right? And so if you're a gamer, though, and you look at these leaderboards, immediately it looks fishy. But if you look even deeper, it gets substantially more fishy, to the point where it's everybody in the community of Path of Exile and Diablo believes 100% that Elon Musk is paying one or more people to play on his account, on his character, in order to boost it. Obviously, even if Elon Musk doesn't really do much work as a CEO, he likely wouldn't have enough time to play this game, or these games, I should say, enough to top the leaderboards in both. Because, yeah, you would literally have to be an actual god in order to do that. And so with this being a very blatant reality, and people have known about this for like a while, and to be clear, there's more evidence than that, and we're going to get into it. A lot of it is the fact that when we've seen Elon Musk play video games, he sucks. Elden Ring is a really good example. If you've ever seen a screenshot of Elon's Elden Ring build that he posted on Twitter, I think he took it down. It was so embarrassing. Like, he doesn't understand Elden Ring enough to know that posting that was, like, embarrassing. But he's just not, like, when you actually see him play video games with your own eyes and you know it's him playing, it's very unimpressive. But supposedly, he is the world's best gamer. No joke. And finally, due to a sort of recent spike in the amount of people calling this out, and the blatantness of the fact that Elon is just a cheater at video games, and probably a cheater at everything else in life, finally, Asmongold called out Elon Musk. And we are not, like, congratulating Asmongold here or anything. He is continuously still cringe. He has not changed for the better. He is just a contrarian loser, really, is really the best thing I can think of to call him. I'm not even trying to be mean. I'm just accurately describing him. I'm not even trying to insult him. He's just a contrarian loser. But this is still quite the big deal. A lot of fans of Asmongold are obviously gamers, and a lot of them see Elon Musk as a really great guy, and they see his skill in gaming, quote unquote, as like another piece of evidence that Elon is just something beyond any normal human. You gotta remember, Elon Musk fans don't think he's just a guy who is really amazing. They think he's something more than human. They really do. You've heard them talk about the guy, right? So Asmongold finally called out Elon Musk. Now, normally, obviously, if this was where the drama ended and it was just Asmon calling out Elon, I wouldn't even be talking about this because who would care? It's not a big deal. Elon Musk responded. And it's his response that we're going to be talking about in a little bit. And that's the reason why I'm talking about all this. But let's go ahead and take a look at this clip. I'm going to speed it up a little bit because Asmongold's a little bit rambly. But he should go over some of the blatant reasons or the blatant evidence that Elon Musk is a cheater.
Everybody was wondering, why is it that Elon Musk cares so much about H-1B visas? This explains it. He wants to get the people that are playing his accounts into America so he doesn't have IP address conflicts and get his account flagged. Now everything...
That is unfathomably retarded. I should listen, Asmongold does 3 things that makes responding or watching him as, like, a sincere and, like, informed person frustrating. He rage baits, for starters. A lot of people don't know this, but Asmongold, like, half the time, is rage baiting. Like, saying something blatantly stupid that is meant to get people upset at him so that he can farm the content of the angry people. A really good example is that clip that went viral of him recently, where he's watching the trailer for Metal Gear Solid Delta, the remake, and he says, "Man, I hope they just don't make it political." He says this with a straight face, and he pauses for a minute. He's like, "Yeah, man, like, yeah, I just hope it doesn't have any politics." And he does his best to make it sound like he's saying it seriously. And of course, the internet got pissed at him because he just said he hopes that they don't make Metal Gear Solid political. You know, like, he rage baits, but he also says legitimately stupid things because he's not a very, he's a pretty ignorant guy, right? but he says a lot of things with confidence as if he knows what he's talking about. And so he oftentimes ends up saying genuinely stupid wrong things confidently. That seems a lot like when he's just rage baiting. And then he also will occasionally have a genuinely reasonable thought process that still leads him to a false or bad conclusion because he got like a false premise at some point in the line. But overall, it is very rare that he just has a good take these days. Like, it's actually kind of crazy how rare it's gotten that he'll have good takes. And that's kind of why I was pleasantly surprised to see him even talk about this. But like I said, Asmongold's not very informed. I can't tell if he's rage baiting with this line. He probably is, about the whole, like, Elon doesn't like doesn't want to stop H-1B visas, so people he's shipping in to play his accounts don't have region issues. Like, he's probably rage baiting with that line. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he is making that argument seriously. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes, and that's the whole point.
Makes sense.
I have a lifetime of playing video games. At one point, I was, maybe one of the best Quake players in the world.
You're actually like a world-class, incredible video game player.
Yeah.
Paragon board and the build, you're also an innovator there.
Yeah, I played a lot of video games.
You can see. So that's, what's that guy's name? The Russian guy that's doing the interview here. He's like a big YouTuber. He's from Russia. And he's bought out by Trump. He pretends to be like a centrist, but does nothing but like hardball interviews with progressives and softball interview. Lex Friedman, yeah. He's Russian, Like, he interviewed Zelensky, and through the whole thing was like begging Zelensky to speak Russian with him for the interview instead of using the interpreter. And Chad Zelensky was like, "No, I will not speak Russian. I will not speak the language of the oppressor." It was like, it was raw as fuck. But yeah, you can tell that, like, Elon's cheating in these games is entirely meant to impress people who don't play video games. Because it's almost meant to be like Elon Musk. It's like the tech bro version of the billionaire genius who's like always solving a Rubik's Cube. Who has like a pile of unsolved Rubik's Cubes in their desk and then another pile of solved ones. And they're just grabbing one off the stack, solving it. And like, they're just constantly solving Rubik's Cubes as they work because they need to do something to keep their immense brain occupied. Elon Musk wants this to be like the tech bro version of that. Like, he's building rockets and counting his money, but also he has to, like, on his other monitor, be the world's best gamer too on the side, just to keep his massive brain entertained. This is the kind of idea he's trying to push, and only non-gamers fall for it, such as Lex Friedman.
You think about like StarCraft.
One of the funniest things that I've thought about this is the fact that Diablo 4 was so piss easy and people didn't give a fuck about it at all, that the odds are that Elon probably also had somebody play his Diablo 4 character, but the game is such a joke and it's so easy that people couldn't even tell the difference.
So for reference, I think the Diablo character he has is a hardcore character, if I'm not mistaken. All Diablo games are easy. That is true. Asmongold's not very good at video games. There's like a 10-minute clip of him not being able to read the on-screen prompt telling him what to do, and it's one of the most embarrassing things you'll ever see. He's not good at video games. He gets carried through mythic content in retail WoW, and outside of that, he farms mounts. Okay, he's not good at video games. He's an entertainer, not a pro gamer. But yes, in his, I think Asmongold legitimately thinks that Diablo 2 is a hard game, like a hard game, or he probably remembers as a hard game. I doubt he's played Diablo 2 recently, besides maybe the remake. But yeah, like, yeah.
Nobody noticed. Here we go.
Any game where
Sorry, it's
a
possible.
lot of people are playing, to rise to the top, you have to be exceptional.
Yeah.
Period. As a human being.
Yeah.
There has to be something exceptional about you.
Yeah.
Are you in the top 20 in the world, or top 20 wow, in
You can see this, like, Joe Rogan, not a gamer, and his reaction is like, man, like, I don't play or understand video games, but you're at the top of these leaderboards. Like, there's got to be something special about you. You're seeing it like in real time what I'm talking about. These people, they hear this, and as Elon Musk specifically wanted, they're like, oh my god, if he's done all these things and he's also like the world's best gamer, this guy must be like the emperor of mankind. He's good at everything he does. He's like unstoppable. Like, that's the idea he's trying to put off, that like anything he touches, he's instantly the best at. He needs that for his ego. That's like his brand.
Diablo.
Yeah.
Shooting rockets into space, making e-vehicles, starting a new department of the government. I actually let myself think maybe he actually is an alien, because there's just no way, unless he's paying people to do it for him, which obviously he's not.
Well,
I will say, you know what's funny about Asmongold finally calling out Elon Musk with this video? This is Asmongold reacting to a video someone else made that has existed for a while, by the way, but Asmon is finally watching. And I think the reason Asmon is finally watching it, to tell you the truth, is that MAGA is burning the bridge with Elon. MAGA is putting pressure on Trump right now to burn the Elon bridge and to return his loyalty to his base and away from Elon. Elon is now seen as like a cancerous, bad influence upon Trump that they want to convince Trump to drop. And so it's convenient, I think, that just when MAGA has turned against Elon, this very already known public thing that has been talked about for a while, Asmon finally calls it out. Mind you, Asmon is a Path of Exile player. He is a Diablo player. These are his games. He plays them. Him and Elon Musk follow each other. He's known about this, guaranteed, and just only now chose to call it out. I think that demonstrates a substantial lack of character on his part, but regardless, he did call out Elon. Now, if you know Elon Musk, even a little bit, you know his reaction would be, inevitably, quite angry, quite unhappy. You could argue even impulsive and baby ragey. Elon Musk called out Asmongold on Twitter and proceeded to leak their DMs. Now, you would think if Elon were to leak DMs with Asmongold, he must have some, like, really damning stuff to, like, expose and reveal to the world, right? Well, let's just find out. Let's find out what Elon Musk, the genius, pro-gamer, billionaire, real-life Iron Man, Elon Musk, exposed Asmongold for. In retaliation, by the way, for Asmongold finally calling out Elon for his blatant cheating in these games.
Wow. Oh, what a day. What a day already, huh? All right, so we got to step back. I think it was on Thanksgiving. Elon hit me up. He was like, what's up? And, we talked for a bit, and he was talking about, like, what I would want to do to, like, maybe upload content onto X, right? Onto Twitter. I told him, like, basically, this would be something I'd be down to do, but I wanted to check with my editors. I think that there was a communication breakdown here. Because I think that Elon thought that what I meant by editors is like the New York Times editors. So then that happens, and we kind of like...
Well, he's kind of spoiling the whole situation here. Okay. Elon Musk tweets, Asmon behaves like a maverick, quote, independent, but in reality, he has to ask his boss for permission before he can do anything. He is not his own man. And the interaction is Asmon saying, I'm going to see if my editors might want to make a second account for it even, in reference to YouTube editors uploading content, because obviously Elon is asking him to upload content on X, and he's like, maybe make a second Twitter account for my editors to upload to. And so Elon, the genius, who apparently doesn't know how YouTube works or what a YouTube editor is, assumes it's like someone who decides what you're allowed to say and edits your words and like basically your boss, your handler. if you're like a journalist or something. He interprets it as that and tries to out Asmon as some kind of like employee. Now, this is hilarious. I need you to understand the idea of Asmon being some employee. This guy lives in like a rotting, like filthy house, okay? Like, he doesn't ever leave it. It's like he just plays video games all day and lives in squalor. That is his existence. He is the ultimate NEET. He is like the mascot of NEETs. The idea that this guy, okay, the guy who smeared his tooth blood on his wall, has to consult someone before he can say certain things, is hilarious, okay? This is a guy who is famous for being a multi-millionaire, and yet his shirts all have holes in them because they are all 30 years old. He drives a car that he has driven since 2006. He has lived in the same house his entire life. Like that is the house he has lived in his whole life. He has inherited it from his mom. She sadly passed away a couple years ago. This is just not a guy, like, he's known for being, obviously he's very wealthy, but he's extraordinarily frugal. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but like one of the most viral things of Asmongold was him cooking his steak. You want to know what Asmongold's go-to dinner is? A skirt steak. A single cut of skirt steak. For those who don't know, skirt steak are those like really shitty, chewy, thin cuts of beef. He buys a thin, small, single skirt steak, throws it in a pan, and then puts, brace yourselves, lemon pepper seasoning on it. And he proceeds to cook it until it's leathery. And then he stabs the shit out of a potato and bakes it in the microwave. Like, nukes that thing until it's, like, molten. And then he eats that. And that's his dinner every night. Oh, yeah, salt and pepper, too. I almost forgot Wild Rose. Salt and pepper, too. That is his dinner every night. Listen, guys, I just think it's really funny that Elon Musk thinks that guy has, like, a boss he consults that gives him his talking points or what he's supposed to say or do. It's just like, no. This guy is just an interesting creature.
Stopped talking, and it was like, all right, yeah, we'll see what happens, because another person from X reached out to me, and I think I was going to join like their Discord, and I told them like I could help consult with, like, you know, doing video stuff too. I told a couple of people, but like I'm not going to go out and be like, yeah, this guy messaged me. To be honest with you guys, I've talked to a lot of well-known influential people. You know, like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's just a guy, right? I mean, like, what the fuck? And so, like, yeah, who else? I'm not gonna make a bunch of lists, right? I mean, I don't go and do that stuff. 4chan is right, you are a Jew. Well, we'll get to that.
Asmongold's audience has gone from, like, subtly chuddy, like, World of Warcraft players to now the World of Warcraft community cannot stand him, and for a variety of reasons. But a lot of it is the fact that he is now, like, his fans that watch him now don't play WoW. That's all I'm going to say. He's completely gone from being one of the biggest guys in one niche, which is WoW, to being, like, one of the biggest guys in, like, the right-wing politics niche. And I don't even know if he fully realizes what has happened. He is genuinely that ignorant of a person at times, but he could also just be playing obtuse for the sake of rage baiting, because he's very good at that, and he tends to benefit when people call him out. And so he called out Elon Musk. He and Elon Musk are now having a big back and forth. This is like giant drama. It's number 16 on trending. Or sorry, this video that we're watching now, the Asmon video, is number 14 on trending on all of YouTube.
I do want to make one thing abundantly clear. You will not find that on my early life Wikipedia part, okay? I'm German. It's the opposite. So
I know what he meant by that, but also, no, no, no. So like, that kind of gives you, I think, kind of a perspective into this guy's like ignorance, is that he seems to unironically believe that Jewish and German are opposites because German, Polish, French, and millions more European Jews were genocided by a German governmental regime. So you see what I mean now when I say that he is like a fundamentally ignorant person. Like also perfect example of like Americans being like, I am German, you know? Yeah. Asmon doesn't realize German Jews are a thing. Well, of course they're a thing. Where do you think the initial population of Jewish people that were rounded up and genocided came from? Oh God. Yeah, Asmongold is an interesting creature. Mind you, this guy has like probably 70,000 people watching him live on Twitch right now as we speak. He is like the voice of a generation, unironically. We're fucked.
Get that out of your fucking head. But anyway, so this happened on Thanksgiving. And obviously, like, you know, I've been critical of some of the things that he's done, like with Twitter, etc. But overall, I've been pretty positive about it, and everything's been good, right? I didn't really talk to him at all about the H-1B visa thing and like the Sam Hyde video. Like, I wasn't really sure how he'd... I wonder... I never asked him if he watched the Sam...
Yeah, another example. Like, the entire MAGA movement is turning against Elon Musk. Sam Hyde called out Elon and has been like one of the largest right-wing figures to directly call out Elon as like a traitor to MAGA and like their movement. And so now that Sam Hyde is anti-Elon, all these like right-wing commentary YouTubers and right-wing, not right-wing, but like chuddy streamers are now they hate Elon because Sam Hyde hates Elon. They consider Sam Hyde their king. I don't know why, but like he's the guy, I guess.
Sam Hyde video. I should probably ask him that. But anyway, we'll get to that too. I apologize that I was gonna write everything out on Twitter and explain it all, but I'm lazy, and so I just didn't. And you were just gonna go live and I'll just explain it all. But I'm explaining this extemporaneously, right? So you've got to assume that there's gonna be some inconsistencies. I'm gonna be back and forth, etc. So anyway, so yeah, I had talked to him and we had interacted positively before, and you know, this was good, not really a big deal, everything's fine. And so anyway, you admit the checkmark removed because the disagreement is fucked. We'll get to that. And so anyway, you know,
Elon got so salty, he removed Asmongold's verification on Twitter. Mind you, a service I'm pretty certain Asmongold paid for. But if you piss off Elon enough, I guess you lose the service that you've already paid for on his website, which he's already demonstrated with all the MAGA people who called him out for the H-1B thing. He will just take away the verification you paid for. He'll just do that. Free speech, by the way. Remember, free speech was always a lie. They never actually meant it, and it's becoming more obvious by the day. It's always just... Everybody loves free speech on the surface. Like, you think about it for more than 10 seconds, and you start to realize, okay, well, free speech is good, but, like, not always, you know? Like, I don't think that, like, some child pornography artist should be able to say, free speech, bro! No, go to prison and electric chair. I don't think that should be allowed, and I think most would agree. So, like, obviously, everyone in every circumstance should not have maximized freedom of speech no matter what. But on the surface, before people think about it much, that idea is universally agreeable. The idea that all free speech always is good. The idea that even Nazis should be censored is a surprisingly unpopular idea in the US. And so when you non-stop attach your movement to being the side that's just fighting for unrestrained, limitless, dispassionate free speech, it suggests to everyone you are the objectively right side, because on a surface level, thinking about it for just a second, everyone loves free speech. And if there's a side that is setting itself or is claimed to be set against free speech and to be pro-censorship, then naturally, most people who love freedom, and that's most people, will default to opposing the side that they have been convinced hates free speech. And so that's why they so heavily did the whole free speech thing, because people heard that and said, yeah, I like free speech. These crazy lefties want to destroy it? Really? Oh, you have examples. Oh, you've got a lot of examples. Those TikTok lefties are crazy. Yeah, these people want to take away our First Amendment. I'm voting for Trump. We got to stop this. It's an effective talking point, but they never really meant it. Once they actually have power, very quickly free speech gets axed, except for those that agree. Zan, you just said free speech. Has it been so long since that was a relevant meme that people don't know freeze peach? Okay, so back in 2016 was when like the whole free speech thing was like so incessantly repeated that lefties came up with the joke of calling it freeze peach, because they would say free speech so much that it would start to sound like freeze peach, because they would say it over and over and over and over and over and over. And so if you were a lefty, you'd be like, but my freeze peach. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so most of you in chat probably remember it, but some might be like younger. They weren't into politics back then. So I explain those older memes. Back in 2016, you mean almost a decade ago? Yeah, it's been 9 years. That's what I mean. That's why I have to explain it. It's been 9 years since that was relevant, you know? Yo, Nick D, thank you so much for the 5 tier 1 gifted subs. Hot damn. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the $25, and I hope everyone who just got gifted a membership on YouTube enjoys it. Hell yeah, thanks.
You know, everything's been fine, everything's been good, and then basically I react to the POE video, and we have Elon and I have a disagreement in DMs, and a brief disagreement, and this of course was at I don't know, like 2:30 in the morning, which is, you know, like that's pretty much usual, right? We had a disagreement about this. And then I was like, yeah, whatever. And I went to bed, right? Because I was tired. And I got up the next day, and that was yesterday. I guess it was yesterday. And so then he had unfollowed me. And who started the DMs? He did. He did, yeah. And so, yeah, he had messaged me. And so if you want to play WoW, we wouldn't have Ashes of Valar. Yeah, basically. Show the DMs? Well, no, I wouldn't show the DMs. You know, like, I thought leaking DMs was... I thought this was bad... this was bad etiquette, right? This is bad internet etiquette for me to do. He did. And also, like, you have to understand that it could also be against the terms of service. And one of us, the two of us, one of us owns the website and the other one doesn't, right? So I'm not going to leak the DMs, okay? But basically...
It sucks that Asmongold still values the site, but, you know, it is what it is. This is still going to turn a lot of people, though mostly those in the MAGA movement who have already been kind of, like, moving in that direction. Harder and harder against Elon Musk. Elon Musk's downfall is imminent at this point. It may not be the downfall of MAGA or Trump. I don't think he's going to take Trump down with him necessarily. But Elon's downfall is, like, immensely imminent. He is incapable of not destroying himself when he feels attacked, and the attacks are only going to get worse. Like, way worse than I think he could ever possibly handle. His ego is so fragile and he's so incapable of unplugging and just like shutting out the hate that he can't stop himself from reacting to it in a really harmful way for his own reputation, and it's even hurting his perception among MAGA. And he's just going to keep on having meltdowns on Twitter thinking he's owning people, but he's really like, man, Elon's tweets. This is a 10-hour-old tweet. These tweets are this is a 10-hour-old tweet of Elon Musk calling out Asmongold, and it only has 1.5k likes. A 10-hour-old tweet. Maybe older. The replies are 10 hours old, so this is at least 10 hours old. Nobody is backing this motherfucker up. He owns the website, and no one is backing the motherfucker up. Poor Elon, huh? Now, if you're, like, just to kind of round everything out, I decided I would save this bit for the end because, it's probably going to be less interesting to the non-gamers that are watching, but for those that are like, okay, but what's the evidence that Elon Musk cheated at this game? Like, what is it that Asmon called out? I'm going to show you this really fast. Let me bring up the original video that kind of exposed all of this. If I can find it. Yeah, I think this is it.
I have a lifetime of playing video games. At one point, I was, maybe one of the best Quake players in the world.
You're actually like a world-class, incredible video game player.
Character is currently level 97, aka rank 12 on hardcore, that's permanent death mode, trade league. Let me try to give you a quick understanding as to how hard it is to get to that level. 2 weeks into the league, when people are playing the game, literally, they're staying up 40 to 50 hours without sleeping, only playing Path of Exile, and they are the most try-hard guys in the world. The highest ranked player on the hardcore trade league was level 93.
Listen, I need you to understand. If you entered the same room as one of the dudes who actually legitimately holds these positions in the leaderboards, you would drop dead from the smell. The types of motherfuckers who legitimately hold records like this eat, breathe, shit, nothing but the game that they play nonstop. They live an Asmongold lifestyle. That you have to. No one lives a healthy life or has anything else going on that naturally and fairly got on those leaderboards that high. Why not keep to what he's good at? Why lie about gaming? Well, Samsung Simp, let me replay the intro of this video. It'll tell you. Non-gamers in the space of people that Elon is trying to market to perceive him as a tech bro billionaire being the world's best gamer as, well, look at how they describe it.
I have a lifetime of playing video games. At one point, I was, maybe one of the best Quake players in the world.
You're actually like a world-class, incredible video game player.
Yeah.
Paragon board and the build, you're also an
Eric Knox, you're thinking of a different unrelated drama.
innovator there.
Yeah, I played a lot of video games.
You think about like StarCraft, any game where a lot of people are playing. To rise to the top, you have to be exceptional, period, as a human being.
Yeah.
There has to be something exceptional about you.
Yeah.
Are you in the top 20 in the world or the top 20 in the...
As you can see, it's all about convincing non-gamer boomers that, like, not only is he the world's best gamer, but, like, him being top of the leaderboard in these games is, like, a super genius passively solving Rubik's Cubes without even looking at them. Like, as they, like, solve a murder case while also investing in the stock market and making millions, while also running 5 companies, while also, like, he is trying to push the idea that, like, he is constantly doing something and is the best at it when he does it.
AKA rank 12 on hardcore, that's permanent death mode, trade league. Let me try to give you a quick understanding as to how hard it is to get to that level. 2 weeks into the league, when people are playing the game, literally, they're staying up 40 to 50 hours without sleeping, only playing Path of Exile, and they are the most try-hard guys in the world. The highest ranked player on the hardcore trade league was level 93. Okay, and you're thinking about yourself, that's kind of close to 97. Every time you level up, it becomes exponentially harder to gain experience. A lot harder and a lot harder. Okay, so these players, to get to 97, have to be playing the game every day for the majority of their day. Currently, what is their highest ranked player?
This is what happens when, like, the people Elon is trying to convince, like, he's the world's best gamer, think that playing a video game for 10 hours a week is, like, no life hours. You ever hear that, where, like, you hear a news article say, and her son plays World of Warcraft for a staggering 16 hours a week. It's like, 16 hours a week is unhealthy? This is what they don't know, what kind of numbers you got to put into these games to be considered good, like even good, you know. And that's how Elon is convinced or managed to convince so many people he's the world's best gamer and also the world's richest guy, and also and this is hardcore, mind you. You die in this, everything's gone. Everything you grinded for, gone. You lose it. Oh, apparently he's now like at the very top of the leaderboard. Before he was like number 8, and now he's the very top because his character is never not active. His character is 24/7 apparently, always active, always grinding. Even when he's tweeting on Twitter, even when he's like carrying the sink into Twitter headquarters, even when he's pining over his ex-wife, even when he's supposedly putting rockets in space, he's also grinding 20 hours. Apparently someone did the math, and that the amount of activity he does that's supposed to be him, he would have to be playing 40 hours worth of the game in a 24-hour span every 3 days based on his activity outside of the game. Like, it's mathematically impossible for him to have done this himself based on like how much time he spends. Like, he recently went on a jet where he flew to Texas to be with Trump from New York. That was like I think like 9-hour flight or something, like 10-hour flight. You can't take that much time off when you're not sleeping and keep your spot on this leaderboard. You can't go on tour with Donald Trump and keep your spot on this leaderboard. I don't care if you have a laptop and onboard internet, you just can't pull it off. It was 48 hours worth of grind in 24 hours he supposedly did. I see. Thank you, Delancer.
They're level 97, same as Elon Musk. So, I mean, he's effectively has been playing, pretty much just doing nothing except playing Path of Exile. So let's just go over some of the things that happened. So right away, we see Elon zone into his hideout, which is the area you do in-game content from. And he opens up his...
For those that don't know, Path of Exile is like a modern day... this is Path of Exile 2, by the way. Path of Exile is like a modern day, free-to-play Diablo spiritual successor. And it follows a lot more in the vibe and style of Diablo 2 than modern Diablo games, where they've kind of taken a different direction with things. It's meant to be sort of like a modern, infinitely playable, super grindy, online Diablo 2.
Bank, and he goes to a tab called Elon's Maps, which immediately is a little bit of a red flag because I don't know why you would refer to yourself in third person, but okay, he does that. Elon Musk didn't play Path of Exile 1.
Ooh, okay, I didn't even think about that. A lot of things on his account are referred to as Elon's blank, as if someone else had named them, but then again, you know, could just be Elon's massive ego wanting him to see his own name. Like, you know, I've occasionally, like, put a sign up on my house in Minecraft that says Xander Hall's house. You know, it sometimes makes sense, depending on, like, your mindset when labeling something in a game at the time. It's not a smoking gun just yet.
In Path of Exile 2, maps are actually called waystones. And he never actually refers to them as maps. He calls them...
Play another round here. This is a hard level. Waystone.
So it's just kind of weird that he's, again, called his tab Elon's Maps. So almost like someone who's a Path of Exile 1 veteran, you know, is kind of making that tab and be like...
Okay, I have to explain some stuff here. Elon Musk has in the past said he never played Path of Exile 1. Here's why this is important. He said this because he wanted to brag about how getting into Path of Exile 2, he immediately became a master at it, despite having no experience in PoE 1. Now, in Path of Exile 1, they refer to stages, I guess you might call them, as someone who's never played Path of Exile. They call them maps. But in Path of Exile 2, they were exclusively referred to as waystones. And it's reasonable to refer to them as maps or levels, but to refer to them as, or I guess to refer to them as maps rather than waystones or levels. And he always refers to them as waystones and levels, but specifically the label in his inventory is maps. And the reason why that's important is that is OG Path of Exile 1 lingo for what levels were called back then in the original game, the game that Elon claims not to play. And I know that doesn't sound crazy, but like, imagine someone tells you, I've never ever played a Dark Souls game before. Like you want to get them into Elden Ring. You ask them, have you ever played a Dark Souls game? And they're like, I've never heard of it. What's Dark Souls? And they've never even heard of it. and then you put them on Elden Ring, and they kill an enemy, and they gather some runes, and then they suddenly call the runes, oh, I collected 30 souls. You'd be like, what? Wait, hold. What did you just call the currency? You call it souls? You said you'd never played or even heard of Dark Souls. What? Like, it would be weird. I'm not saying it's a smoking gun, but it's definitely another little, interesting. He says he never played Path of Exile 1, and yet his account in his inventory labels the level access keys as Elon's maps, a term that only a Path of Exile 1 player would use. So what seems to be the case, if you were to follow the logic, is that Elon probably paid a Path of Exile 1 veteran to play on his account, or multiple Path of Exile 1 veterans to play on his account, and said Path of Exile 1 veteran still calls those levels maps, because he's played the game for so long, and that's what they were originally called back then, like how I still call Elden Ring runes souls, because I played so much Dark Souls before I ever touched Elden Ring. Seems likely. Just seems likely. It's old game lingo from the original game.
Like Elon, there's a tab there called Elon's Maps. Grab your map out there. I've rolled them all for you. They're nice and easy. He then proceeds to walk up to his map device and go to put a map in. The literal first thing you learn upon getting to the end game is how to operate this map device. You're going to start off at a node, and then from that node you can go to adjacent connected maps. Now, Elon, he's trying to click.
Oh, he's trying to do the map that's not in the chain.
He's just clicking a map repeatedly, trying to access it. He was not eligible to.
So Elon Musk streamed Path of Exile 2 at one point. I think kind of to sort of assuage the rumors that he supposedly wasn't really the one playing the account, and he thought if he streamed on the account, then that would prove it was really him to the world. But if you watch someone who does not know how to properly play the game that they're playing, and you do know how to play the game, you're going to it's so easy to spot. It's so clockable. It's like if you were to encounter a guy who claims he's the world's best mage in World of Warcraft, and then when his team is about to die in hardcore, he just blinks out and runs out of the dungeon and lets 2 of his teammates die. It would be like you just immediately know that guy is not hot shit like he claims to be.
Into that map.
I just want you guys to understand, this is one of the highest level hardcore characters in the game. He would have played thousands of maps at this point.
Anyone who's level 97 is, and we're talking one of the most efficient players in the game, period. There is no way you would do that. Why?
This is an actual player on supposedly Elon's level streaming their gameplay. This is Elon's gameplay, like him clicking on things that don't do anything, that he as a player would know that's not how you start a level. Why are you clicking on a nothing? Like that's not... You've played this game at a max level and you don't know how to start a mission. You're clicking the wrong part of the screen to start a mission. Like you don't know the UI of the game you're supposedly one of the world's best players at. Hilarious, but just look at the mouse movement of an actual pro player that we'll see a clip of here.
Point.
Anyone who's level 97 is, here. and we're talking one of the most efficient players in the game, period. There is no way you would do that. Why? Just like sitting there like some sort of geriatric old man clicking this node, expecting something to happen, and then he finally kind of gives up after a while, and then realizes his mistake. We then get a look at his inventory. So Elon Musk is stuck going into the map and with full bags. If you're an efficient player, you're going to clear a map, you're going to loot the valuable items, you're going to go in, and you're going to take those items, and you're going to basically look through the good ones, keep the good ones, list them up for sale, and then truck away the trash ones. It's almost like he has no understanding.
And that's not like just a Path of Exile thing, that's a RPG thing. That's just, if you play a game like WoW or any RPG where you're collecting items, you vendor the shit that's not an upgrade, and you keep the stuff that is, or might be useful in the future. Elon isn't even doing that basic inventory management. Kind of weird.
As to like what items are or what you're even supposed to do with them. So now Elon zones into the map.
So what I'm doing here is just boosting my shield before battle via meditation. Meditation before battle is always good.
I do want to clarify here. Elon does play video games. He's not like a fake gamer, quote unquote. He plays video games. I mean, he's familiar with tons of games. One of the first things I ever saw was Elon Musk saying that he is a big Overwatch fan. I'm sure he was like lying about how good he is at Overwatch as well. But he did he dated Amber Heard, for those that don't know, and he had her do Mercy cosplay for his Gooner sensibilities. I'm not joking. There is an image online. It's not like revenge porn or anything. It's like a publicly posted thing. I think she posted it maybe. But it is Amber Heard cosplaying Mercy from Overwatch. Because Elon Musk is a gooner, and he is an actual gamer. So I think he does know how to play Path of Exile, but what he doesn't know is how to play endgame, max level, top tier Path of Exile. He doesn't know. And so that's why he had a hard time interacting with that map interface that you only unlock when you are at that high echelon of gameplay. Because as a real Path of Exile player, Elon's probably just played, like, at most the amount that, like, the lower amount of an average player, like a lower average player amount of experience. But he does not know how to actually go all in. It's in stream discussion and Discord, the cosplay. Well, don't post it there. I don't know. I don't care. Do what you want. Let the mods deal with it.
Good.
And he starts killing monsters. He starts obliterating monsters with his character. But what becomes obviously apparent...
Chaos Orb, no loot filter.
Is like, no, he's just running past Chaos Orbs! He just ran past the Chaos Orb!
Chaos Orbs are one of the most important currencies, and they're also really rare. I have about 140 Exalts. I have like 9 Chaos Orbs, just so you guys understand.
So, in Path of Exile...
Oh, he's going to explain.
The devs are these evil guys, and they talk about feeling the weight, and they effectively just drop tons and tons of items. And you have to know what to pick up. So what GGG have done, the people who make the game, they've made this system called loot filters, which gets rid of 90 to 95, even in some cases, like we're talking 98% of all loot that drops, because otherwise your screen is just cluttered. And you won't even notice when you get a good drop. It's unfathomable for someone to be in the top ranks without a loot filter. Yet Elon Musk, the god gamer, he doesn't play with a loot filter. The only thing Elon does pick up are maps, because the...
Now, for my WoW players in chat, because I've been getting a lot of my fans into World of Warcraft Classic, because I've got a WoW Classic guild that's, like, open to fans to join, and I heavily, request that you do. This would be like if someone claimed they were a top-tier WoW player, and they streamed themselves playing it, and not only were they using no add-ons whatsoever, like at all, no add-ons, but they were also clicking all their abilities instead of having them keybound. Like, and they streamed themselves doing that, and they know the game so little that they don't understand how much they're self-reporting that they cannot possibly be as good as they claim.
The default in-game loot filter highlights those. Those things are worthless. The actual items of value that he should be picking up, that he would have had to pick up in order to get the gear, leave it on the ground. Anyone who's been playing the game and is a complete expert, we're talking he's cleared thousands of maps, he's been playing that character for hundreds of hours, he's going to be pretty damn good at, playing the character. He gets to the boss, he's fighting the boss, and I want to say for about 10 seconds, he sits there and he's out of mana. Mana is a resource in this game where you need it in order to use your abilities. He just sits there, default attacking the boss without activating his mana flask. Anyone who's played the game and understands the character would understand, like, oh, I'm not doing any damage because I'm out of mana. Elon Musk takes 10 seconds. He then goes on to loot items off the ground. He starts dragging them into his bag.
I don't think Elon knew he could use a potion in combat. I don't think he... Because Elon's definitely played the game, but not enough to, actually be as good as he claims. I think he probably just didn't even know you could use a potion in combat. He's probably that actually unknowledgeable about the game.
Like, I don't even know how to describe to you how painful that is to anyone who actually plays the game. And his bags are full, and he just keeps clicking it over and over and over again. Nobody, not even people who are kind of noobs at the game, do this. I don't even think Elon Musk has done the campaign, honestly. Like, just based on what I'm seeing in terms of the gameplay. His settings on the map transparency are turned on by default. His life values.
It comes off like, you know what? He might have only played Diablo in the past, and he's playing Path of Exile 2 for one of the first times ever here, and he's just trying to play it like it's Diablo. That could be the case here. Like, this stream that we're watching could be his first time ever playing on that Path of Exile 2 account. It's apparently his. And he has some Diablo experience, and he's just trying to, like, coast off of that, thinking it'll do him fine. He seems to have a very overinflated perception of his own skills, like, his own ability to trick people into thinking he has skill. It's like, does Elon think so lowly of gamers they won't recognize someone pretending to be a pro gamer?
Turned on all these basic settings that anyone in the top 100 would do, he is not doing. Maps can effectively have different content on them, and that content will be signified by icons on the map. So it could be a map which has an expedition in it, a breach in it, or it could be corrupted. Elon starts looking through the atlas, and he finds a map with, I kid you not, 4 things on it.
There are 4 things there. So this one has the real risk of dying.
4 things. What are those?
I think those are difficulty modifiers, like a bit like skulls in Halo, if I'm not mistaken.
Things.
I don't play PoE 2, by the way. I played Diablo, and like that's kind of... I think it's actually handy for me as a gamer who's never played Path of Exile ever. Looking into this, it's like I can tell that he's not really... Like, I haven't played Path of Exile, and it's like, okay, well, wait, you mean you're telling me there are add-ons you're supposed to use for this game that he's not using? Yeah, I know analogies for that. That's insane. I get an idea of how important that loot filter add-on is based on what it does. The idea that a pro player would not have that installed, never. Not in a million years. I don't even have to play the game to know that no good player would ever not have that loot filter add-on installed. That is clearly a vital add-on.
4 things. It's 4 things, dude.
So this one has the real risk of
Not
dying.
this far in the game and calling it 4 things. Stop, bro. Dude, stop. Oh my god, I literally can't. He then goes on to say, oh, kid you...
This is max difficulty on hardcore. If there's a way to get higher difficulty, I don't know what it is, but this is everything maxed out.
Path of Exile has boss fights and end-game bosses, which are quote-unquote difficult battles, which Elon actually did do in one of his streams, where he just went into the end-game boss and died repeatedly to it. Maps are just farming. You go into maps and you...
Correct me if I'm wrong, it's supposed to be a hardcore character, right? And he died repeatedly? I was about to say that, like, man, how scary must it be for Elon that when he's playing on stream and it's not the person he's paying, he could die. He could literally, his character could die, and he could lose his hardcore character and be like, yeah, I'm totally the world's best gamer. I'm at the top of the leaderboards, but the one time I stream the game, I die, and I play like shit. I think it was an alt. It might have been an alt he was playing, maybe. Yeah. He wants to be cool so bad, yeah. Anyway, I think this is... Oh, Elon's gear. Okay, we'll finish it off with the Elon's gear section. I think this bit will be funny. Let's finish this bit up.
And if you thought this was bad, I did not even get to the worst part. In Path of Exile, gear has requirements to equip it. But that has nothing to do necessarily with how good it is. For example, one of the most powerful and best items in the game is a level 1 required to equip staff, which is maybe, I think, even the most meta build in the game right now. It's super, super broken, insane damage. And Elon Musk starts going over his gear.
This is a great staff, but it's only a level, 62 staff.
His weapon is, I kid you not, one of the best, if not the best staffs on the entire hardcore trade.
The guy he paid kitted his character in the best, probably best in slot gear. Like, I don't think Elon could realistically run any boss and get a drop better than what he has equipped. I think he's just fully meta equipped, fully BIS, as they would say, best in slot. Every item is the best you could put in that slot. And Elon, I don't know if he realizes that the person he paid did that for him. And so he's replacing and dropping and selling items he has equipped, not realizing he is literally de-equipping and selling and trashing what any hardcore player would instantly recognize as meta build items that you would never so much as pass over if they dropped, much less actively have equipped, be using them, and then throw the fuck away. Elon Musk is a fraud. Elon Musk being the real pro gamer he claims to be is about as likely as him being the self-made billionaire he claims to be. 0% chance. He is a guy who received everything that he has in life from people who didn't even necessarily do the work themselves, but they just gave him the fruits of their labor, and he invested it properly, I guess, and made a few lucky choices that has resulted in him being the world's richest man. And I can only deduce those choices were pure luck, because in everything that he does these days, despite us wanting to see him as the best at everything, it becomes very clear he is like above average bad at almost everything he does. Like, he's the world's richest man, don't get me wrong, but he's not good at it. He dumped an endless amount of money into Twitter, and I guess you could say it was a good investment if you think that his relationship with Trump will come out as being worth it, but it seems like Trump might drop him in like a week or two, like before the inauguration even happens, possibly. So, you know, that whole Twitter purchase might stop being worth it real fast. He inherited his money. He seems to not be all that smart with it at the end of the day, and he wants people to think he's more accomplished than he really is. He might really have earned nothing in his entire life, and to try and fake accomplishment in a video game or multiple video games like this so blatantly, it makes it seem like he genuinely might not have actually accomplished anything and wants people to think, well, video games, that's completely merit-based. It doesn't matter how rich you are. You're as good at a game as you are. Elon's the world's best gamer? Wow, he must just really be a cut above the rest if he's just better at video games than everyone, because that's a total meritocracy. He's basically trying to push the idea that under a meritocracy lens, he's better than you even in that circumstance. He's better at making money than you. He's better at building tech and having wealth. He's better at playing video games than you. He is just better than you in every way. That's what he wants you to believe. And so what better thing to say, look how much better I am than you, than something that is a full meritocracy. Not like how much money you have, nothing that can be affected by your wealth or your fame or anything, just pure game performance. Well, he's the world's best gamer. He must just be special. But he's not. He's actually especially unspecial for somebody who has supposedly achieved so much. Anyway, guys, with that said, I think here is where I'm going to wrap up that segment. If you enjoyed and found what I had to say entertaining, educational, or enjoyable, then please consider hitting that like button and leaving a comment. Thumbs up, especially when I'm live, and comments are the best way to support the channel, so please don't forget, if you want to help the channel out, help me get pushed in the algorithm, I really do appreciate it. Subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already, so that YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload new videos. Follow my social medias, linked down below in the description to see more from me on other platforms, and of course, if you want to support me directly, financially, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or perhaps even buy some Xander Hall merch through the Streamlabs link down below in the description. Regardless of how you support me, though, thank you all so much for watching as always, and have a good one.